I'm frequently asked to share how I cured or treated my keratosis pilaris on the backs of my arms, which I did successfully. I just want to take a moment to say, not only as it applies to this, but anything I ever speak of is, of course, going to be based solely on my personal experience. So take what I say or what anyone else says with a grain of salt and do your own experimentation. That's what I always encourage, safely, of course, and reasonably speaking. But it's one thing to talk about doing something or think about doing something. It's another thing to actually do it. So with all of these things that I always share, it's not good enough to talk or think about it or ask questions and things. You have to actually, do it. It's very simple, actually. What I used was lactic acid is what worked for me. I had started with this product, M-Lactin Daily, which is a 12% lactic acid moisturizing lotion. I used this faithfully every single day on the backs of my arms. And because my skin, at the time I was about 19 years old, and my skin was not acclimated to alpha hydroxy acid whatsoever. Do a patch test first to first see if you're allergic, of course, but also just to kind of see how your skin will react, because mine reacted very angrily, probably because I was a bit too aggressive, which if you haven't gathered already, I tend to be very all or nothing, and I'm working on that, but that's my personality, is that I tend to go full force into things. So I'm that type. Anyway, so I used this for about, I will say, well, I still use this today. I use this every day on my body. This is what keeps my body skin baby smooth. But in the beginning, when I was targeting this usage, I should say, to the KP on my arms and applying it, the directions say to apply it 2 times a day, so I was doing that. But I did experience quite a bit of redness and flakiness and peeling. In a way, that's good, because that's what I was aiming for, right? I was aiming to get that layer of skin off so that the skin on the backs of my arms could be resurfaced. That's what alpha hydroxy acid does. That's what any chemical exfoliant does. That's what tretinoin does. So any chemical exfoliant applied to the skin will accelerate that cell turnover, the skin cell turnover. For me, it took about 12 weeks. It didn't happen overnight. I know everybody wants to have quick success and quick results, but it has not been my experience that any of these things that I ever talk about, be it with food or lifestyle or skin creams and things, none of this ever happens, at least for me, overnight. I have to do these things religiously for weeks, months, sometimes even years, frankly. I don't have a problem doing that because I have a good level of self-management in that way. So I suppose it works for my benefit. But the lactic acid, that's what did it for me. So although it was irritating in the beginning, over time, of course, with continued usage, my skin did acclimate to it. And then over the years, I even graduated, if you will, to using it over my entire body. So I use this on everywhere from the neck down. And in fact, this product, which is newer, I believe, this didn't exist when I was 19. So I wasn't using this. I use these now both interchangeably. This one is slightly more viscous. It contains 3% more lactic acid. So this is 15% lactic acid strength concentration, whereas this is 12. I don't notice a difference in the efficacy, but rather the texture of this is thicker, and it's more, I find it more moisturizing. So what I do with this actually is I use this on my neck, and I use it as a neck cream. I moisturize my whole body with this, which I love, and I use this on my face too. And I am well acclimated to topical chemical exfoliant, specifically, obviously, the retin-A. So comparatively, this is nothing for me, but I've been using retin-A for like 20 years. But I use this on my neck, and it's excellent for neck skin. I don't experience any irritation, but that's my skin. And I would recommend doing a patch test behind your ear to see if you're sensitive to this. But this all over the neck and chest makes the skin baby smooth. One thing that really helped me too when I was treating my KP were these gloves. Not these specifically, these are my current pair, but these are washable gloves, exfoliating gloves. They're just made of nylon. And the great thing about this, which I've said before, is that once a week I will put these in the washing machine with my towels and launder them. And what happens is with each continued laundering, I find that they get scratchier and scratchier, which I love, because the scratchier, the better for me. It feels really good, like a self-massage on my whole body with these. And then I come out of the shower and I slather on one of these, and then I lock it in with this. It's just good for the skin overall, but it has also kept my KP at bay. I've not had a recurrence of KP on my arms since I was 19. And so that treatment has worked for me. And it's purely cosmetic, is my understanding. So if it's not a bother to you, I should also add that you don't need to feel the need to, in my opinion, you shouldn't feel the need to get rid of it if it's not bothering you. Only if it's a bother to you. If not, I would say don't worry about it. If it bothers you, then there are things you can do to calm it down or smooth it or help treat it. I've had success with that, but it's not going to hurt anyone having that. So it's just a thing on your body that exists. So that's another way to go too, is to not have it be a pressing need to change it. The M-lectin was very effective for me, and I didn't have to do anything else, but it took time. That's the one caveat that I will say, is that it took time. It didn't happen in a couple of weeks. It didn't even happen in a couple of months. And then I would also apply Vaseline, and I would just slather it, and then I would cover it in long sleeves and go to bed like that. So it was a bit uncomfortable, but I wanted to take care of that. So that's what worked for me. And when you're using this or glycolic acid, so in other words, when you're using AHA or tretinoin or any chemical exfoliating product, be it prescription strength or over the counter, I always say you should be protecting with sunscreen daily anyway. But if you're using products such as these with these ingredients in them and a strong concentration of them, you need to be protecting your skin. I would say with sunscreen and protective clothing. So hats, sleeves, that's just my suggestion. Lean on the side of being prudent with it. You need to be very mindful of the sun, because when you're using products like this, be it on your body or your face, the mechanism by which these products operate is that they make the skin more vulnerable to the environment, specifically UV damage. So what you're doing if you're not protecting is you're actually accelerating the aging process of your skin by creating more sun damage. You're creating the higher risk of sun-related skin cancers, because your skin is made more vulnerable because of that acceleration of turnover. So because of the chemical intervention, if you will, of introducing these products, these ingredients to your skin, it cannot be overstated, the importance. That's why I always say it. You need to wear sunscreen. It's crucial when you're treating your skin, be it on your body or your face, wherever. But in my opinion, you should be wearing sunscreen daily anyway, but that's what worked for me. I'm sure any lactic acid product would work, so I don't think it has to be this particular product, but I'm showing you these because this is the particular product I used and use to this day for my body care. And that includes keeping the KP on my arms at bay. My arms are very smooth, but I use that all over my body, actually, because of the results are so excellent that I want smooth skin all over, not just the backs of my arms. So that's why I use it. It's going to depend individually what works better for one person than the other. This is what has worked for me, and it's worked very beautifully. So I wanted to share that because I know that KP is a very common skin condition. Give this a try and give it time. That's the biggest thing. You can't expect things to happen overnight in life, in anything, in my opinion. So give it enough time. And when you feel like throwing in the towel, that's usually the time when you need to exercise the most patience. So I will leave you with that. And I wish you luck. Thank you, as always, for being here. Be well, and thank you for watching.